Hello, welcome to Doing Life Together, episode 68. It's Sonia, your host, and excited to be here with you. Let's dive in really quick on your best travel hacks. What are your favorite hacks for making sure that your travel, you stay healthy and everything goes super smoothly? I'm always in awe of so many of you who are travel geniuses. Is that genii? Genius does. Anyway, you guys are brilliant. And so I would love to hear your top travel hacks for sure. So the reason we're talking travel is because it is certainly top of mind for me. I earned a free trip to the Bahamas. And that was, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago now. Anyway, and just a huge shout out to Norwex, my direct selling company, that every year we can earn a free trip. And my sister earned a free trip as well. So we just got to experience the most fantastic sister trip. My goodness, did we feel slightly upgraded from back in the college days when we would travel on a dime together and thought that was so much fun. But goodness, we were at Atlantis in Bahamas, and it was just such a beautiful property. The people there are beautiful, great service. Anyway, just have so many good things to say about Atlantis. It was my first time there. And so if you've been there, what did you think? Of course, we did the slides where you get to slide through the shark tank. Yes, there's plastic between you and the shark, so that's good. And saw the dolphins and the pools. One of our favorite things was getting to walk the beach. It was a beautiful long beach, and we walked that every day. So got some really good exercise and sister time all wound up into one. And because it's a fairly large resort, we decided on our first day there to just make it a goal to see if we could hit 20,000 steps every day. And we did. Like, it was so good, so good. So another thing we did on the Bahamas trip is my sister actually packed her juicer. So both of us had just recently started juicing. And so we're like, well, man, if we can keep this going, it's going to help us stay healthy on the trip. So we went and bought some fresh celery at the local market and had fresh celery juice every day. So that was a new wellness travel hack that I've never done before, and actually was super cool. I'll do another episode at some point on that and what I've noticed since doing a few things on my health. Super exciting. All right. So Bahamas was great. As soon as I landed from the Bahamas, the next day I got on a 16-hour flight to Australia, Brisbane, Australia, to speak at a conference there. And it was so good, so good for all of my Australian friends. I know some of you come on here, and I'm just super excited for 2025. And it was awesome being there with you. Totally honored. Now, this is where the travel hacks is coming in, because it turns out 16 hours on a plane, trying to sleep with my neck cushion and whatever. And I mean, that's a lot of people in one plane. So how do you make sure you stay super healthy on your travel? So here's a few things that I've learned over the years. Number one, charcoal pills, charcoal pills, charcoal pills. I didn't need them on either of these trips, but man, you get some kind of nasty food thing going on, and charcoal pills are your friend. So I highly, highly recommend that. Also, Willie has found these like GI Guard peppermint pills, and they are also kind of magical. Sorry, it's freezing here in Texas, and I was just out. I have to fill the chickens' waterers, and I decided I would come in and do this first. So, charcoal pills, these little peppermint pills are so fabulous if your tummy gets weird. I also do love to travel with my essential oil, like Thieves or On Guard, or if you have, I think there's some other alternatives out there. And I believe in those very much. I also am a huge believer in having like vitamin C packets along. What I didn't do this time, and I think I should have done, is Airborne. I have used it in the past. I think it has a sweetener that I wasn't just super sweet on. I can't remember what sweetener it was, But I do feel like it's super helpful. And then the big thing that I think I could have done better for that long flight is having a nasal spray, whether it's a silver nasal spray or I think there's a zinc nasal spray. I had learned previous to going that the more you can keep your nasal passages from getting dry, the more resistant you are to picking up who knows what. Also, I think my sinuses would have ultimately been a lot happier if I had done that because I noticed on the plane my nasal passages just got so dry. And I think that opens us up. So, if you're planning for your next trip, I would say look into some nasal sprays. And one of my friends was telling me after I got back that she has a silver nasal spray. She puts it on right before the plane ride, if needed during the plane ride, and then after the plane ride. And so I haven't used that, but I think that would have been super helpful because after the plane ride, I lost my voice. Now, fortunately, I didn't have like sore throat and fever and all of that. So that it was a real blessing that way. However, I was to speak 4 different times. And so speaking with a funky voice isn't always ideal, but everyone was very gracious. Anyway, so I want to hear in the comments, if you're catching the replay or if you're on live with me, what are your travel hacks? Another great travel hack is to travel with a Norwex EnviroCloth and wet it before getting on the plane and just wipe down your surrounding areas. You know, they really don't get cleaned between passengers, I don't think very well, if at all. So that's always a good move. One thing I've done on past flights is I got those compression socks just to avoid the swelling in my feet. I did use them on one of the flights and I didn't get any foot swelling at all. So that was awesome. But jet lag was another thing that after that, I know that when we fly to Australia, you lose a day. So I lost my Wednesday in the air, it evaporated, right? But then when you come back, you get to live the same day twice. So I left on Monday, had a 16+ hour flight, and then another flight home, of course, after that. And I got to arrive on Monday. How fun is that? So if you all want to know what's happening tomorrow, just check in with all your Australian friends. They're going to be well educated on that. So those are a few of my takeaways of why my voice is funky right now. And another thing, so just to keep February fun, because I don't like it when February gets too boring. So booked the Bahamas trip, had a lovely week with my sister there, amazing. Back to back, booked my flight in and out of Australia. And then now I have my biggest trade show of the year, which is the San Antonio Home and Garden Show. So yay, why not, right? So for all of my praying friends, appreciate just healing prayers that my voice is restored, because obviously at trade shows, we're talking to people all day, hopefully. But anyway, also for my San Antonio peeps or New Braunfels, if you're in the area, as a vendor, I have some complimentary tickets to the show. So please message me tomorrow, because once I'm setting up and at the show, my phone gets crazy and I don't always get to it. But if you can message me on Thursday, I will do my very best to send you one of my complimentary tickets so you can get in free. It's always a super fun show. And yeah, excited that spring is coming. It's the spring show. I love that. So you guys are quiet tonight. Does that mean you have no travel hacks? I would love to hear, or it either means that or I'm not seeing the comments, because sometimes technology gets weird. So put a hey in the comments and I'd love to hear from you. All right. Do you like travel? I'm going to close with this. I grew up on a farm in South Dakota. You guys know my story, and loved being a farm girl. I made a very good farm girl. I will tell you that, because I love animals. And I had like, I don't know, 30 cats or something crazy. They were all outdoor because my dad was a hard no on a house cat. But anyway, so love my cats, our dogs. We had sheep. I mean, we kind of had the old McDonald farm a little bit. Chickens, cattle, horses, at times pigs, and all of that. And so I just want to say that I'm really grateful for my farm upbringing. I spent hours in our haymow making straw forts and all the things. But one of the things that we didn't do much of was travel, because obviously when you've got living beings relying on you, and a lot of them, it's hard to even hire help. And secondly, when times aren't, sometimes the budget is a little slim, um, you can't maybe hire someone. So because of that, we really rarely traveled growing up. And we had some cousins who got to travel. And thankfully, my cousin was so sweet. He would collect seashells for me. And although I had never seen an ocean, I dreamed of seeing an ocean, but I'd never seen an ocean. I had this beautiful seashell collection that I was so, so proud of, and would look at, and just, inside I was just over the moon about these shells. And so I would live vicariously through him, thinking maybe one day I'll get to travel. And really, thank you to Norwex. That's what really shifted it in a big way. So obviously, when Willie and I got married, and Sherry and I took some college trips, my sister and I, and then Willie and I got married, and so we were employees, right? Like, he's an engineer, I was a physical therapist. So we could take vacation time off, and we were newly married, paying off all the student debt and all the things. So there wasn't just like endless budget for travel. Entered Norwex. So I remember my first year in Norwex, I actually totally wrote the trip off. It came back then, everything was printed, right? Not online. And so it came in our little starter kit box, and it was the trip we could earn. And I threw it in the garbage. Like, I did not foresee that would ever be something that I would be able to achieve. And we were midway through the year, and my friend Tiana, who started at a real similar time to me, she reached out and she's like, you know what? Did you get that flyer in our kit? I said, I didn't remember it. And she's like, well, I've got it on my fridge. And so far as I can tell, we're both tracking to earn this free trip. And that started off an amazing travel history with Norwex. Every single year, I've been able to earn a completely free trip for myself. And if I want my airfare, and I can earn in a spouse or a friend, and then their airfare. So if you, excuse me, if travel is something that you'd love to do more of, I believe that free is a pretty sweet price, and earning it, what's cool about that, once I talk too much, then my throat gets a little angry. Makes me want to cough. I'm going to have to wrap this up. But what's cool about earning the trip is it also means that you made quite a bit of money for your family through your business. So it's a win-win. If you are interested in details on that, again, did I mention prayers before I have to talk all weekend? I even did some Manuka honey while I was in Australia. I'm like, hey. But anyway, so if you are interested in maybe earning a free trip, making some extra money, of course, reach out. I would love to tell you about Norwex. I chose Norwex in the direct selling arena for a few reasons. Excuse me. One being that when I started, we were on a bit of a shoestring budget because I'd become an at-home mom. And most direct selling products were considered luxuries at our house. And so Norwex to me was such a beautiful product because it was actually saving me money because I didn't have to buy paper towels anymore. And let me tell you, that alone was like paying for my products. And then cleaners and room sprays. And I learned about not putting those plugins in the walls. And I just saved so much money. So then I thought, well, this is definitely a product I can share with the world because even people who are on a tight budget can afford it, and it can like pay for itself 100 times over. So that was one of the things. And then second, I'm a wellness nut. And so it really fit in, it aligned with my goals for how I wanted to raise my family. And what I didn't know I needed was this beautiful community and getting so many incredible friends through it. That was a huge added bonus that I didn't see coming. And just being able to be better stewards of God's Amazing Planet, so many things. So anyway, if it's on your radar, give me a shout. If you're in San Antonio, hit me up for a free ticket. Happy to get you set up with a complimentary ticket for the show, the Home and Garden Spring Show. And if you're there, come swing by. I'm actually in aisle 400 this year, so I'm trying something a little bit different than my usual. So you will see our booth there. All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining. And we will plan to see you next week. And in the meantime, if you're catching the replay, what are your best travel hacks? I really want to know. All right. We'll see you soon.